What is up, guys? We're here with another YouTube video today. We did get some upgrades to our setup to hopefully bring a little bit more quality content. We got some lighting to kind of help with, just as it's getting darker here, to kind of hopefully assist with our natural light problem, as well as we got some mics, so you'll be seeing these you'll be seeing these a lot in our Instagram videos and then also our YouTube videos as well. They're going to be a huge help, and we're really excited about all the new equipment that we've got. So today's video topic is about e-collars. So we're going to be going over a couple different units here, the two units that we've used. One is, in Tess's hand, is the OG. It's the ET300 by E-Collar Technologies, and it's also known as the Mini Educator. Lots of different trainers use these. Tess and I have used these for many years on our personal dogs, and well over 150 other dogs that we've trained. We've lost count of how many of these we've used. And we're a big fan of them, honestly. So the other unit that we're going to be comparing it to is another E-Collars technology, the EZ Educator EZ900. We just kind of started using these here, but we're honestly kind of a big fan of them. And we'll get into all the details here in just a second. But the purpose of this video is just to kind of compare and contrast the two units and tell you what we like about each one and where one could be beneficial versus the other. So let's go ahead and get into it.
So pretty much everything between the two boxes is going to be the same. So what comes with each one, you get a charger with both, you get your different tools, an extra set of prongs, lanyard, and the only difference is the EZ900 does come with a belt clip, which is super awesome. The Mini Educator does not have that. But other than that, it's pretty much the same. The collar itself is the exact same for both, so we're not going to go into that a whole lot. The main difference between these two things is going to be the remote.
So now we're going to go ahead and get started on some of the features between the two of them and compare and contrast them and kind of talk about what we like about each one of them.
So starting off with like the different buttons on each of the remotes, EZ900 definitely gets a point for having better features with this. So for the Mini Educator, to turn it on, there's a big black button on the back with an L on it, and in very small print it says on, off, and light. A lot of clients get confused with how to turn it on, understandably so, and the EZ900 actually has an on-off button.
Yeah, it's just a lot more clear, especially for first-time users of the EZ900 or any e-collar system, to just have one that's clearly labeled and doesn't have kind of like a little line drawn to it saying this is your on and off switch, but also your light switch, and also this, you know. So it is nice to have more of those buttons in this instance that are really clearly labeled, and just have it be easier to be able to teach people as well.
Yeah.
So
the EZ900 also has a button for each different like mode you have on your e-collar. With the Mini Educator, you have the vibrate button on the side, and if you want to do the tone, you have to switch it, and then the vibrate button becomes the tone button, and you no longer have the vibrate feature. So that's kind of annoying. The EZ900 has a button for each of the different types of stimulation, the tone and the vibrate, so you don't have to go through and switch it, and you always have access to all of them. I'd say that's a good feature there.
Yeah, for sure. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the turn dials, and that's just how you adjust the stimulation on each one of the transmitters. The EZ900, again, they both have their benefits, and it kind of depends on what type of dog you're training as to which one. If you ask me which one I'd personally pick, I'd be like, it depends on what type of dog I'm training.
Yeah.
For most of them, I would say that I would probably pick the EZ900 turn dial, solely because it'd be easier to teach the client how to use it. It's a little less sensitive than the Mini Educator. It gives a little bit more resistance and allows us to clearly adjust and find a really nice precise working level pretty easily. It's not shooting up the numbers super fast. It's
not
kind
as
of
touchy.
Yeah, it's easier to control, and it has a really clear directional feel. So pushing it upwards turns the stimulation up, and pulling it downwards turns it down. So in my opinion, it's just really intuitive and a little bit more natural for people, as well as for the grip. When you're gripping the EZ900, your thumb falls directly onto the turn dial naturally. So it's just there ready to go, and it shouldn't require much of a learning curve. Whereas I'd say with the ET300, you're definitely needing to kind of learn that.
Yeah, the Mini Educator, we definitely have to spend a lot more time with the clients teaching them how to appropriately turn up the stimulation, just because it is so much more sensitive. And
you're more so like using 2 fingers rather than just your thumb. You're kind of pinching it in order to go up very little bits at a time. So it's definitely one of those things where it is a learning curve and can be tricky.
The other thing with the Mini Educator, there is a locking mechanism on it where if you press and hold at the top of the turn dial, it'll lock whatever number you're on, and that is super easy to do. Clients do it on accident quite a bit. The EZ900, that's not as easy to do, so it doesn't happen on accident as often, so that is another
we get a lot of times a lot of clients call us and my remote's broken. They just by accidentally locked it usually, and we tell them how to unlock it and they go on their way. But it would be a lot harder to do it on the EZ900 just with the position of that button, because you're not really pressing that button ever once you have the remote programmed the way you want it. Okay, so the next thing we're going into is going to be the screens, which are both LCD displays on both units. Again, I'll give the point to the EZ900, and I know it sounds like we're giving the EZ900 all the points, but we like both of these units, and we've used both of them for.
We'll continue to use both.
We'll continue to use both of them, exactly. But the EZ900 does have a bigger screen. It displays everything you want to know, your battery level, your stimulation level, and then it also will have different letters on the 4 corners of the screen, telling you what each button is programmed to. So it'll tell you for your different types of stimulation, whether that's momentary or constant, and then it'll tell you which ones are going to be your vibration or your tone dial.
Standard screen, it's definitely so much easier to see what levels you're working on. For a lot of our older clients, it is super hard for them to see the Mini Educator screen because it is small. So the EZ900 is definitely really good for that, and I love that it displays the battery level, because the Mini Educator, it has the light blinking at the front, and if it's blinking green, your battery is good to go. If it starts to blink orange, that's kind of when you know it's at like 20% or so, and if it's blinking red, it means it's pretty much completely dead. But with that, you just always know where you're at, and I think that is super, super convenient. Yeah,
it's definitely just a lot more clear on the EZ900 as to what the status of the system is. So that's another huge thing that we like about it, especially with us training and having tons of different remotes at all times, just kind of hanging out, and it's nice to know which ones need charged or throughout the day, just being able to keep an eye on those things. So I guess we'll call this section the feels of each remote. Honestly, they both feel pretty good in the hand. Like I said, the EZ900 kind of puts your hand, especially if you're a right-handed person, I'd say it's more geared towards those people, and is easier for those people. It puts your thumb right where it needs to be on the turn dial. It's a pretty nice rounded feel, nothing cutting into you, nothing's uncomfortable, and it just kind of rests right in your hand. I think it feels pretty good, and it's natural, and I even have pretty big hands, so it might be even more natural for me than it is for Tess, who has a little bit smaller hands. But
no baby hands. Yeah, the thing with the Mini Educator, you can't, if you're right-handed, which the majority of our clients obviously are, you can't see the screen. With the Mini or the EZ900, when you're holding it in your hand, you are able to just have constant access to that screen, so you can always glance down and see what level you're at, rather than having to like adjust the remote in your hand to check, which is easy for us at this point. But when a new client is working with their dog and they have all these different things to remember and to keep up on and things that they're trying to learn, that's one less thing they have to worry about with the EZ900. With the Mini Educator, point for it though, because you can very easily switch from a right hand to your left hand if you're a left-handed person, or if you just want to hold it in your left hand. It is so much easier than with the EZ900. It's the exact same like grip in both hands. I would say between the two, like, I think they're both pretty natural and comfortable. As for actually pressing the stimulation, like, I don't think either of them, like, you really mess up on a whole lot. Like, no. For the Mini Educator, your thumb's just kind of right there, bounces back and forth between the turn dial and the stimulation, and then the EZ900, it's just your pointer finger is kind of right there on the button. So both of them, I'd say, are pretty equal in that sense. One's not really better than another. The EZ900 does fit in pockets better. I do like that. This is obviously like a little bit more of an awkward shape, and that one's a little more narrow and stuff. Yep. So that is nice, but it also comes with a belt clip. That's another bonus for the EZ900, is that you can just clip it onto your like waistband or your belt, whatever, or to the outside of a pocket, and it's always just kind of there. The Mini Educator only has the lanyard. I think you can buy, like, we could put the belt clip for the EZ900 on here. It just doesn't come with it. Okay. But it would also cover that.
Yeah, it would cover up a couple buttons, so yeah. It'd be a little weird. Yeah.
Another bonus, I don't know if this is a bonus, just a fun fact about the EZ900. When we posted our Instagram video on it, a girl commented and said it looks like a Minion, and I cannot unsee that.
It does look like a Minion.
So I'd say that's a bonus.
Oh yeah,
for the EZ900.
Sure. Oh yeah. Okay, so like we said, we like both of these units, and we're going to continue to use both of these and stock both of these for all of our training programs. And we'll probably consult with the clients mainly and recommend which unit that we would use if we were them, based on their needs, their limitations, and their dog's needs. For the EZ900, like Tess said, this is kind of nicer for our older clients who can't see the numbers as easily, or just need that bigger screen and want the convenience of seeing the battery life, and especially for our right-handed clients as well, where this kind of falls in a really nice natural position. The EZ900, like I said, doesn't adjust as clear, or just doesn't adjust as easily or as fast, at least when it comes to the turn dial. So it's a little slower when you're turning up or down the stimulation, which can be really good, but in certain situations it can also be a hindering factor, which I'll kind of let you go into.
Yeah, the Mini Educator is going to be really great for if a dog is a flight risk or something, being able to have that very quick adjustment, or if you have an aggressive dog or something like that, you want to be able to crank up the stimulation as high as you can, as fast as you can for situations like that. The EZ will definitely be really good for your more chill dogs, your doodles, things like that, where they're typically very sensitive to the stimulation anyways. And like Nate said, those older clients are people who struggle with their eyesight, and typically the older clients, not always, but generally have those easier dogs. So that'll definitely be something we're using the EZ900 for, but the Mini Educator does definitely get points for being able to adjust quickly when you need it to. Especially like Nate can turn up the EZ900 pretty quickly, but for me, it is hard. Like I don't get.
Yeah, if you have like a long finger, you can just kind of.
I want to see.
Quickly adjust a stimulation.
Like the most I can adjust with the EZ900, like very quick, I get to a 25 without having to make any adjustments. With the Mini Educator, I can get to a 40, and it's easier for me to just keep going with it if I need to.
Yeah, and with me on the EZ900, I can get to 83 in one swipe, which still isn't as high as I can get with the Mini Educator very quickly. I can get to 100 very fast with that.
Not that you typically need to with dogs,
No,
but when it's an emergency situation, a dog is taking off towards traffic or something like that, you want to have that very quick ability, and there are dogs that are just more of a flight risk than other dogs.
Yeah, absolutely. Or dogs that are reactive, or things that you really need to shut down because they could end very badly. But yeah. So I guess just to end this, both units are half a mile range. They're both waterproof. They're really good for any adventures you want to take your dogs on. I'd recommend either one of these, but obviously we just kind of gave examples of where it'd be more handy for certain types of individuals or certain types of dogs. So if you're out looking to buy one of these, just, you know, even if you're not training through us, she just dropped it on her foot. Training through us, you know, you kind of have at least some of the pros and cons coming from a dog trainer's perspective as to what we like versus what we don't like about each unit.
Price wise, the Mini Educator is a little bit cheaper, but not much at all. There's not much of a difference. So there is that bonus point to the Mini Educator, but if you're wanting the extra benefits of the EZ900, I'd say it's worth the price jump. Let us know down in the comments which one you use or which one you would like to use if you get one, and we'll see you on the next one.